Remember that time when I said, I know what I did to my back, I'll explain it later? It's time to explain it later. What's up, y'all? This is Chris from NoLimitSquad, your personal Isochain and fitness vlogging channel. Today we are going to cover what I believe is one of the most important areas to bulletproof with the Isochain: your lower back. And unfortunately, I'm speaking from experience, from multiple perspectives. One is out of clear stupidity, 2 is overuse injury, and 3 is it wasn't healed yet and I worked on it anyway, which goes back to number 1, stupidity. So lower back injuries are the most common injury, and it really sucks. Your average person, we're not even talking about lifting, your average person, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it, your uncle, your aunt, maybe your cousin, maybe you. I want to tell you that it's okay. We have a solution. Let's talk about the lower back in detail. Let's go over why it's so easily hurt. I'm not saying it's the case all the time. I'm just using my personal training experience and, unfortunately, my own dumbass fault. More often than not all the time, but more often than not, the cause of lower back injury is a weak core. People usually think the core is just your abs, your six-pack muscles, right? That's only partly the case. You got your rectus abdominis, your lower abs, your internal and external obliques, and your transverse abdominis to make up your entire oblique system. That's just the front of your body. Your core is your core. What's on the back of the abs? Your spinal erectors. They all play an important part in keeping you stable. If you have a weak core, everything falls apart. I love martial arts, so I always think everything comes from center. And I always think that, and I always set up my clients to do abs. Always. I always do it, whether it's a static contraction like plank, 6 inches, or dynamic lifts like the leg lift, torso rotation, the abdominal crunch, or variations of calisthenic type ab workouts. I always have my clients work on their abs. Area number 2, that's usually ground zero, a weak ass. Your ass is weak. Let's take the barbell squat, right? So remember when I messed up my lower back doing the squats? Remember that time where I said I wouldn't squat or deadlift anymore, dynamically at least? When I was doing the squat, I was also hip thrusting on average about 350 pounds. Things were going well, was tight. My glute was on freaking fire. I knew I was doing it right. No problem. Boom, weak link taken care of. My abs, I wasn't going hard enough. I never skipped an ab day. I never have for 12 years. But with COVID, my normal ab routine is a torso rotation, the one where you sit, because I really don't like the kneeling one that much. The captain's chair, where you stay stationary and you bring your legs all the way up and down. And I usually put a dumbbell in between my feet for added resistance. The lie down abdominal crunch. All 3 of these machines are at Planet Fitness. I've been doing them for years. They have gotten me phenomenal results. For a while there was no more Planet Fitness. Okay, so I got out of the routine there. I knew the importance of abs, so I was still doing stuff at home. But in my opinion, the body weight exercises just didn't compare to weight bearing exercises. So same principle, I was like, okay, well, I have to substitute these ab routines in order to continue to keep my ab. And now I'm not talking about aesthetic wise, I mean strength wise. And I noticed a decrease. I noticed first a decrease in strength, and then I noticed a decrease in physique. It didn't go away, I wasn't having that, but the intensity and the strength just simply wasn't there. I'm continuing to perform at a level where my strong core used to provide that extra support, only it was no longer there to support. So when I came down, something had to give. All that weight, something had to give. Now, it was 315 when it happened on the barbell squat. It wasn't strong enough. When I was doing the deadlift 2 years ago, my core was good, my glutes weren't. Something had to give. Boom, 515 deadlift, done. We're done. Month out the window, gone. Why? Core was strong. Lower back was, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I've never neglected my lower back, but something had to give, and the weak link in my deadlift form were my glutes. Y'all see what I'm trying to say? Bringing it back here. If there's a weak link, it's time to work on it, and we can work on it directly with the Isochain. Remember, we're bulletproofing our joints, but it's not all about joints with the Isochain. Yes, it strengthens them tremendously, but we're also developing strength. We're also developing lean muscle mass, new neural pathways. We're strengthening our spinal erectors. What exercise, you might ask? The RDL, baby, the RDL. What I'd recommend for the RDL, for anyone just starting, if their back is kind of tweaky, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is go see a doctor. I always tell my clients that. They ask me, Chris, what exercises do you recommend for my lower back? Did you see a doctor? No, you need to see a doctor and get that diagnosed. I will not train you until you get those medical records to me. It's not gonna happen. Once the doctor gives the go-ahead and you're good to start with some light training, what I'd recommend is to hop on the RDL time mode. Time under tension, light, super light. Work on the time under tension with the RDL on the Isochain. So that means keep those knees straight. I'm recommending 10 to 20 seconds at a really low weight. Something that's comfortable, that's not gonna trigger you. Mistake number 2 that I was talking about back at the beginning of the video that I made back in February. This is why I kept screwing myself up. I kept going strength only. So I'm putting everything I have into my lower back, which I thought would strengthen it, which it was if it wasn't already compromised. So what I should have done was go either the hypertrophy route or the endurance route. I'm still getting that strength. I'm still getting that support. I'm still building my lower back. I'm still building my spinal erectors. In hindsight is 2020, but that's what I should have done, and that is what I'd recommend anyone do if they're just starting out on the Isochain and their lower back is tweaky. Like I said, first things first, get your ass to a doctor. After you get the all clear, start really light. It should burn, but it shouldn't hurt. Once you start to build yourself up with progressive overload and the time under tension time mode on the Isochain, then after some time has passed, I'd say at least 3 weeks of doing it 4 to 5 times a week at least, and documenting your progress, one, your spinal erectors, your lower back should be a lot stronger doing that with the Isochain. Now we can add the strength. Now we can add those 6-second contractions. So if you're feeling a little gun shy about ripping into it 100%, just try 50% first. Then up your percentage increases. So 60, 70, 80, 90, just slowly but surely working the cortical inhibition out of it slowly but surely. At that point, your spinal erectors, your lower back should be a lot stronger because you just spent the last 3 to 4 weeks strengthening it with time under tension principles. It's like the back extension machine at your local gym, not the one with the pin selector weight stack. I'm talking about the one where it's body weight only and it looks like you're about to topple over, like this one here. And I've done that for years, and when you come up and you hold it for a couple seconds, whether it's body weight or holding a dumbbell or plate, you feel that sucker when you do that isometric hold at the top position. Same concept, right? You're building your core up, you're building your lower back, you're building that up. I highly recommend supplementing this with a lot of core strengthening exercises. What do you know? What do you think I'm gonna tell you to do? Planks, 6 inches, especially 6 inches, man. You want those hip flexors and lower abs tight, strong, do those. Highly recommend it, but throw some dynamic on top if you can, if it doesn't bother you. This is just to strengthen up your lower back with the Isochain. I really like this Isochain. I know you guys do too, especially for the newcomers who are just coming through to the channel and think it's just a strength tester with a display on steroids. It's so much more than that, as a lot of us squad members already know. You can do a lot of things with this. That's why it holds its value. Highly recommend progressing. I'm going to have the layout pinned as the top comment on this video on how to progress building your lower back up on the Isochain if it's a weak area that you need fixed. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. Go ahead and comment. Maybe there's something I missed. And if you're not yet part of the squad, hit that subscribe button. Come join the squad with us. See you in the next one. Peace.